Staying with the with the BMW design, I think I think you nailed it, and I think that's the same thing with the XM because we drove the XM on that trip as well. And granted, the car it's not bad. I think and I'm gonna just lead with this. I think the design could have been better for sure. I mean, even though I'm not a designer. And then secondly, like you said in your video as well, they should have not named this car an XM. They should just name it an X8, whatever hybrid.
Yeah.
Because overall, the car it's not bad aside from suspension and the design and all of that. But what was your take on the XM? Because honestly, it's the most polarizing BMW today, and probably the car that got the most hate.
Can we swear on this podcast?
You can if you want to.
Okay,
Yeah.
you can bleep it if you want. The XM is a piece of that car is genuinely start to finish an absolute disaster, and BMW should be completely embarrassed by it. From every single measurable perspective, it was the ride is crap. The interior doesn't make nearly as much sense as it could. The packaging makes no sense. The marketing is idiotic. The use of the M badge is stupid. The absolute bastardization of the history of M in that car is so insulting to me as a BMW person that I can't stand it. I don't think it is any. And guess what? They're not selling. Like,
They're
no
not.
shit, they're not selling, right? Because they're not actually that good. They look stupid, and they're not nice to drive, right? Yes, it's very quick, but it isn't that quick for what it should
it's a
be.
heavy car, such a heavy
right?
car.
It's
And honestly,
way too heavy. And they're not selling, right? Like the fact that there's a whatever Dolce and Gabbana handbag in the back, that just it just tells me everything you need to know about who they're trying to capture with that car and how far they are from actually. I don't know if you were at that launch, right?
I was there.
Do you remember? Did you ever go to BMW launches like 5-6 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I've been
There
doing it for
were
15 years. Yeah, so
there were always discussions about engineering, and there were discussions about the details of the performance, and there were discussions about, like, you could ask questions like how many degrees of camber are on the front wheels, and they would have answers. That particular launch for the XM and the M2, all of it was about who they're marketing it to, and the image, and the design, and the artwork, and like just a bunch of crap that I don't care about, right? So like from start to finish, the whole thing was set up to be a disaster. And when I really pressed the engineers, I won't, they told me a few things that I won't repeat because they told me in confidence, obviously. But there's definitely an element of what can I say? It's an element of they knew what that car was and what it wasn't. If that makes any sense, the XM.
it does, because honestly, I got the same feedback off the record since. I think they misread the market. I think they misread a little bit of drivetrain. They should have been in their car, a little bit of the design and everything else. So definitely it's a flop in my opinion too. That's why they're removing that 650 horsepower variant, and they're going to stick to the high end, whatever 740, and then the entry level in Europe, which is the 6 hybrid, which is probably even more strange. But they absolutely misread. And my biggest thing with that car was like, okay, I get it. You can't have all winners. It's fine. It was the fact that it was the 50 years of M, and I felt like they should have done something very, very, very special for 50 years of M. And they keep telling me, yeah, we did a 3.0 CSL. I'm like, okay, that's not that special. I mean, it's $750,000 and you can't even buy it here. So that was my biggest thing. I'm like, we should have done something. And I'm not talking about a supercar. People think that, that we all want supercars. Like not really. I just want, like, I don't know, M2 CSL, M something CSL, something. I don't know, something.
Yeah, we got the M4 CSL, which was a wild car. But I agree with you that I think for the 50 years of M, that was a massive misread of the BMW world, the community, and the people who actually support the brand over time, as opposed to the people who have a lot of money, go to the nearest dealership, they cross shop between Mercedes and BMW. They like this one a little bit better because it's quicker or whatever. They make more noise, and then they buy that. They don't care about the brand or the history or anything, right? For the people who actually care, I think, you say it should have been a supercar. I think it should have been, an M1 thing, right? It should have been something like that. It should have been something, it can cost $300,000. I don't care, but make a mid-engined, proper road-going successor to the M1. That's what I think that should have been. And how would there not be a market for that? How would there not be a market? Like, for sure, like, there's so many people these days spending incomprehensible amounts of money on one-off supercars and hypercars. Imagine if you did like a cool retro throwback M1 thing you don't even have to put a fancy engine in it. Just put, because the original M1 had a straight six. Put the
Exactly.
S58 in it or whatever the hell you got, right?
S50,
And
yeah.
make it super fast. Make it really, really light. Make it, yeah. Anyway, there's my rant.
Yeah, I think they misread the market. I think they were chasing the Lamborghinis and all of that, and
Yes.
that's just a flop. And unfortunately, I think they realize that now, even though, of course, they're not going to say it. But on the more positive side of things,
Yeah.
tell me, what would be your favorite BMW if you were to buy one today, if money no object, or you can even pick more than one if you want to, because it might not be the only daily driver.
Money, no object.
Money no object.
That's actually a really difficult question.
People ask me that all the time. That's why I know it's a difficult question. There's so many nice
Yeah,
ones.
I think honestly, I really do like the M1. I've never driven one, but I think it's got a really interesting history,
For
right?
sure.
I think it's just absolutely unbelievably good looking. And since, as I said, my current position is that I have a big driveway and a couple spots in the garage, I would probably get one that I don't have to drive every day, right? So I would get something, like an M1 would be horrible to drive every day, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's probably what I would do. But I mean, outside of that, I think probably an E46 M3 CSL. I'd bring one of those in.
Yeah,
Even though it doesn't have the right transmission, blah blah blah. But I just think
know, but
it's so
you can
cool.
you can do a swap on it. I guess some people that on swaps on
Yeah, you
regular
can.
E46
Otherwise,
M3.
I think I would do an absolutely pristine showroom condition Laguna Seca Blue E46 M3 manual coupe. Right.
Icon staples. Honestly, amazing color, amazing car. It's actually my first BMW. Also was an E46. It was not an M3, but it was just a regular 3 Series, and I still love that car.
Yeah.
Just timeless, like you said, and especially when you pair it with either Laguna Seca or Phoenix Yellow, or whatever. It's just fantastic car. So yeah, awesome.
I follow you on Instagram and I follow you along, so I know some of the things that you say about cars already. But what is your current take on kidney grills? And what do you think BMW could do with them to continue to incorporate the kidney grill, but modernize it? Right?
Tricky one. That is really not an easy question to
answer. It isn't, is it? Because I don't actually know the answer. I don't think making them as big as a house is the answer.
No, definitely not the answer. But here's the problem. So I don't like the kidney grill on the 4 Series. Like, absolutely, I do not. And I made a point to Domagoj also, and to people. I would take a photo of the car, like really up close, wide lens, and I'll be like, okay, this is what it looks like. I'm like, this is pretty bad.